Hello, and welcome to today's subscriber contract, reading stories set in Dartmoor and supplied to us today by Paul Anderson, 37. So moving on to our briefing, 47 is having a try at the mission stories. And moving on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them, along with a free map. And for today's challenge, we'll be starting as the mansion staff, and we'll be bringing with us a lockpick and a silenced pistol. So, right from the start and off the bat, our first target is directly below us, and that would be young Mr. Patrick Carlisle. So we're going to close the doors to the landing, and then we're going to position ourselves here and line up our shot with the chandelier. And when Mr. Fernsby, another of our targets, comes in to berate the maid, our target today will first move under the chandelier, which we can promptly drop on his head, and we are 1 target down. So next up, we're going to do a fair bit of running around and a lot of legwork. So first stop is the first floor bathroom, where we will find the straight razor. And making our way here, we've interrupted the young flirting couple. So we're going to overflow the sink, and I'm going to throw the straight razor at the wall, although unfortunately I was a little too keen and eager, and we did that long before the maid actually got within earshot. So we're just going to do that quickly again. Let's hide that razor. When the maid comes in to investigate the noise, she will then get distracted by the overflowing sink. And when she does, we're going to let her turn the sink off, and then we are going to pounce on her and render her unconscious so that she's not in our way later on. So we're just going to deposit her in the closet provided, and then we're going to move on to our next location, and we're going to do a fair bit of the legwork here. So we're going to go to Mr. Fernsby's office next of all. We have to go around the long way to avoid Mr. Fernsby, the butler. We're going to head into his office, and we're going to collect up the lethal poison we require for our next elimination. Now, as part of this particular contract, we are covering one of the mission stories, and it is the murder mystery story, which requires us to collect up a lot of information about Zachary Carlisle. So we're going to grab the notebook from the fire and the notes from the desk whilst we're in the office, and that will be those bits of evidence taken care of. Once we've grabbed the lethal poison, we're going to make our way to the lounge, add the poison to the breakfast table, and while we're here, we're also going to scan the photo of Zachary off the wall, make our way out into the garden and scan the footprints on the floor outside the window. So that's 2 locations completely done. We're now going to make our way over to the greenhouse, which is location number 3 of 6 that are required for the mission story. Now, we don't need all of the evidence available. There are some bits that we are going to ignore, mostly the dining room and the study. So once we made it into the greenhouse, making sure no one is watching when we lockpick our way in, we're going to scan the plants or botany book there, and then we're going to make our way upstairs, and we're going to take care of the 2 bedrooms upstairs that aren't Zachary's bedroom. I've actually gone round the extended long way because we can't take the shortest route, as there is an enforcer in the corridor behind us. So we're going to make our way up onto the first floor and across the entrance hall balcony, avoiding the enforcer along the way. And we only just made that. We're going to lockpick our way into the bedroom on the far side, and in here we will find a couple of items. The first being on the buffet here, and we're going to just scan that notebook there and then check the laptop. So once all of that's done, we now need to make our way across the building and into the other bedroom. Again, we're going to have to take a relatively long route to avoid any enforcers. So we're just going to make our way all the way around back to the bathroom where we was before and lockpick our way into the bedroom here. And in here we have a number of items. So we're going to grab the letter from the bedside table. We're going to scan the shoes in the corner of the room. And we're going to grab the dog-headed cane on our way out. And then make our way down the corridor and into the secret compartment where we will find another letter. Now, like I said, I'm not sure how much of this is actually necessary. I know that not everything is, but we'll grab what we can. We've got plenty of time before Mr. Whitmer arrives, although he already has, and makes his way into the lounge to sample the poisoned cakes. So once we have all of the evidence that we require, apart from everything from Zachary's room, all we have to do now is wait for the private investigator, Mr. Whitmer, to sample the poison cake. And down he goes. And then we're going to wait nice and patiently for his body to be cleared up and moved away. And that body will be deposited in the little storage room where we are currently waiting near. So we're just going to wait for the bodyguard there to deposit Mr. Whitmer and, more importantly, the outfit he's wearing that we require. And when he vacates that little room, we can then go in and grab it. There you go. Well done, sir. You've earned a pay rise. So once he's left, we're going to take the private investigator's outfit, and then we're immediately going to find Mr. Fernsby, the butler, and we're going to engage him in conversation.
Mr. Whitmer, are you ready to inspect the crime scene now?
I am.
Very well. If you'll follow me, sir. I feel obliged to point out that current affairs surrounding Madame Carlyle are of a delicate nature. You may be familiar with the recent announcement of her death. You will probably learn that a staged funeral is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Madame's children were not informed until this morning that their mother was in fact not dead at all. So please bear with them if they seem affected by the rather unusual situation. I trust I do not need to remind you that there will be consequences if word gets out that Madame Carlyle is still alive.
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
Before you inspect the crime scene, I will tell you this. The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger brother. He was found dead in his bed this morning. The door was locked from the inside, and a suicide letter was found in his room. However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene. This is Mr. Zachary's room, to my right.
So once Mr. Fernsby has stopped yapping, we can make our way into Zachary's bedroom.
A hidden door.
We're immediately going to open the secret passage and grab the floor plan map. And then we're going to make our way back out and into Zachary's room and across to the fireplace where we will find his suicide note, his plans on his laptop, and then we're going to scan Mr. Carlyle himself along with his bedtime drinks, which are on the bedside table on the far side of the bed, and we should now have all the information we
Spread
require,
shows
and we can
death at
now
around 10
go
o'clock
back
last night.
to Mr. Fernsby, who will finally lead us up to Mrs. Carlyle's office. We're not allowed on the top floor, not in this outfit anyway. So we need Mr. Fernsby to lead us up there. We've just managed to catch up with him all the way back down on the ground floor. During my practice run, I managed to get this done so quick, he hadn't even left the outside of the bedroom.
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
I'm ready to present my conclusion to Madame Carlyle.
Very well. If you'll follow me, sir.
So once our second conversation with the butler has played out, he will then lead us all the way up to Alexa Carlyle's office, and in there we will engage Alexa Carlyle in conversation, at which point we will inform her that Zachary committed suicide, and this will then lead Alexa Carlyle to throw herself off of the second floor balcony, and that will be her nice and dealt with, and then we will be down to our final two targets.
This is Madame Carlyle's office. Please step inside.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
Your brother committed suicide.
I need to see some evidence to believe that, Mr. Whitmer.
Zachary was found dead in a room locked from the inside. He died from a rare poisonous plant he cultivated himself. He believed you were dead, and a suicide note explained that he did not have the courage to go on without you.
That's what I don't buy. I cared for him deeply, but the truth is he hated my guts. My death would not make him commit suicide, I can promise you that.
Perhaps the death of your older brother, Montgomery, then. I have found evidence showing that you and Zachary killed him nearly 50 years ago. I believe that was when Zachary turned recluse. Your brother recently uncovered proof that your past deeds were for nothing. A letter from Montgomery stating that he wanted you, Madame Carlyle, to take over from your father instead of himself, as you were better suited to the job. Everything would have turned out the way you wanted, without anyone dying. What broke Zachary once, now destroyed him.
And you saw this letter?
I did.
Oh, Zachary. How royally I fucked up. Mr. Whitmer, I'm sorry, I just need to gather my thoughts. Right. The payment for your services, have you decided on an amount?
I'll send you an invoice.
To be honest, I doubt you'll see any money. You see, Mr. Whitmer, the irony is even deeper than you know. It's all gone. Everything I expect. I killed my older brother to protect the family legacy, drove my little brother mad in the process, and now I've managed to lose everything to a fucking secretary. Would you believe it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I trust you'll see yourself out. I need to excuse myself. I need some privacy. Thank you.
So once our interview with Alexa Carlyle has played out to its fullest, she will make her way out onto the balcony to, as she puts it, excuse herself. And excusing herself from the land of the living with no muss and no fuss. So 3 targets down, 2 more to go, and our final 2 targets both require the straight razor. So we're going to head straight back down to the first floor where we rendered that maid unconscious all that time ago, and we will then encounter the gentleman she was flirting with, and he is our target. So we're just going to make our way around to the library, and in here there you can see the target is just on his way. So we're going to select the straight razor, and when the target comes in off of the balcony, we are going to introduce him to cold steel. We're going to deposit him in the closet or the crate in the library, and then we're going to take his outfit and make our way downstairs and to our final target, the butler, who in this instance wasn't the culprit. The butler did not do it. So we're going to make our way straight down the stairs under the main stairs and turn on the vacuum cleaner. And as long as Mr. Fernsby is in the area, that will distract him. So we're going to turn the vacuum cleaner back off and hide ourselves in the box, as Mr. Fernsby is an enforcer to this outfit. So when he comes along, he will stand with his back to us, and all we have to do is exit our box and introduce him to cold steel. So with all of our targets dealt with, all that's left for us to do now is to make good our escape, and we have a choice of exits, but I'm going to go this time for the bridge exit, although I think the hearse would be ever so slightly quicker. So there we go, one more subscriber contract taken care of, and we have confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan. We had no objectives to worry about, and we get a silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.